Welcome, everyone. Today, we have professional bodybuilder and event promoter Aaron Orton with us. Okay. And we wanted to introduce him to some of the new people in the ANBF, for people to get to know him. And we also wanted to solidify his position for the people who already know of him, especially out west. So, Aaron, like I said, is a professional bodybuilder. He's been in event promotion for how many years now?
Since 2019.
Since 2019. Okay. So I would like for you to take over now, introduce yourself a little bit to the audience and, let them know a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Thanks, Ryan. My name is Aaron Orton. I started the bodybuilding journey way back when I was a kid because my mom was a natural bodybuilder and
I did
really got
not know that.
gym.
Okay.
Yeah. So going to the gym was a constant part of life growing up. Everything from my siblings to myself were raised around eating well and going to the gym. When it came to my own bodybuilding endeavors, when I joined the Marine Corps at 18 years old, I needed to improve my fitness score in order to pick up a rank. So I decided to start going to the gym as a New Year's resolution. And hey, we're right there,
Yeah.
2006. And so that was 19 years ago. I decided I'm going to go to the gym consistently in order to do this. And I haven't stopped since. I did my first show in 2008 and fell in love with the process of being able to change the body off of just exercise nutrition. Went to school for it, graduated a local community college with a degree in exercise and movement science. And then I built a gym surrounding that method of training drug-free here in Eugene, Oregon, called Genuine Fitness. With Genuine, we've kind of created competitors since day one. It wasn't our focus. The majority of our clientele are general pop, but if you're with us long enough, you're going to end up in good enough shape to say, hey, what's next? And we've been able to bring over 100 athletes to stages in the Northwest, from Washington, Oregon, California, all the way over now to going over to the East Coast where Ryan's at.
Yeah.
And at the very highest level, we've been able to train people drug-free, and that's what we stand for. The mission statement of Genuine Fitness is no fads, no gimmicks, just what works. And that's what we stand for since day one.
Yeah, I like that. I got to know you a couple years ago. There was talk about you over on the East Coast. And I was like, oh, okay. I've never talked, I never met him. Nancy had spoken highly of you, and I was like, okay, let me get to know this guy. And the more I started looking into the stuff and the athletes you brought to the shows and the shows promoted, I was like, okay, this guy, he's definitely one of the gems. And I was very impressed, not only from the coaching angle, but also how the athlete first approach in terms of not only your coaching but the event promotion, as well. So if we're talking about that athlete centered approach, we can't ignore the fact that you did recently switch affiliations. Okay, so you recently decided to come over to the ANBF, and I would like you to speak a little bit on that. What led you to that decision? I know that certain restrictions and certain controls were part of the reason, but if you want to go into that a little bit.
Sure. So, as a business owner, I'm all about trying to figure out what the competition's doing. I'm trying to figure out what's modernized and new, what's not working anymore. I've applied that to my own shows and seen a lot of success in terms of numbers, pro cards, high-end athletes. But I found that number one is the athlete, supporting them, getting a hold of them personally, giving them a call after a show, making sure they're taken care of, and that we support their journey all the way through, their endeavor and their career path of natural bodybuilding, because it's really not possible without the athlete. And we want to make sure that they can get as much information from us, as much support from us as possible, because that's what I love. Natural bodybuilding, seeing people push their limits. And that's why I got into promoting, is we didn't have anything here in Oregon for natural bodybuilding ever since I started. And I was like, we need a show. Kevin and Linda James, who owned the Washington State Natural, got a hold of me and said, hey, Aaron, we'll teach you how to do this thing if you're willing to do it. And I decided, yeah, I will listen. And we applied all the principles that they taught me, and we were very successful in 2019 with a 50-person show and 8 pro cards for our first go around in a very small venue in which we needed a permit just to be able to fit everybody in. So we really blew the doors down. And from that point forward, even through COVID, we've put on the best shows in the area and the only drug-free shows in the state of Oregon. So now that we are in 2025, going around the United States, looking at the online social media aspect of what people are bringing, I really want to listen to the athletes, spectators, the high-end coaches that are going to these shows saying, hey, we're not up to snuff with what's going on over here. And I'm here to listen and let those athletes know that that's why I've joined the ANBF, seeing your vision, Kent's vision, seeing what the Washington State Natural particularly can be moving forward with being the 20-year long-running, longest natural bodybuilding show in the area. We want to make sure it's up to snuff with what the modern trends are.
Yeah. And if we were to focus on like how I focus on it, how I see this whole new change in this new direction, it's everyone has their own path and their own theme and their own journey. Like all the other promoters, myself included. With yours, it's like the things I constantly think of is, freedom, the creativity and on autonomy. And those main ideas right there, I think is what will benefit you, the most. And I think by it benefiting you, it's going to then trickle down to the athletes, the coaches in your area, the spectators, and it's that creative freedom. At
Correct.
the ANBF, obviously there are certain guidelines and there are certain structures that are going to be followed. Okay. But I myself am very creative too. So I don't like things being too rigid. If someone earns their stripes and they have something that's working, then you need to take notice and tap into that. And I feel that not only just the organization you left, but other organizations, they're not very good at that. It's more of like, oh no, this is how we do it, and it doesn't matter. If someone's hot, you need to figure out why they're hot. And I think that creative freedom is a big thing for you. I like the idea that you'll have the ability now to build your own team, not just from from the coaching standpoint. I'm talking about the team at your show. You'll have
Correct.
more input in what judges you're training and what judges you're bringing in, younger, more up to date, highly qualified people who have gone all over the place, all different shows, all different organizations. I would rather harness that talent. I would rather build up that talent as opposed to always being forced to, import judges who are of the old regime. They may be more expensive due to whatever things you have to pay for their presence. I like the idea of Aaron Orton and his group building up a team that then takes natural bodybuilding forward. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. And as a promoter, it's my job to make sure that the judging staff is up to snuff with our standards and that they're judging in accordance to what the end result was and what we agreed upon. So I always do look through our judges' books, ensure that they are as accurate as possible. And that helps me depict, who's on top of their game. Not always are we having people who are, let's say, active or retired athletes, but there's certain people with certain eyes that seem to be the most consistent on their judging standards. And that's super important because we both know going to hundreds of shows that poor judging can ruin a show and it
Yep.
can ruin an athlete's experience as well, along with a coach's experience. We don't want coaches and athletes to feel like they didn't get their dues after working their butt off all year, that it was proper judging, fair judging. They had plenty of time on stage. They were compared correctly, but also the judging staff was able to get it right each and every time. So that's going to be one thing moving forward that we're really big on is ensuring that the judging standards are there. And if we need to have our mid-show meetings or before the show or after the show to ensure accuracy, we'll do that.
I'm confident, but I have to ask. You're confident that you can develop a team,
Oh yeah,
a talent pool by you that can help elevate your shows?
Yes, I think I've had probably 20 or more judges, and we've probably created 10 or more judges over the last 6 years that are local and people that we can entrust with to be there, who will do the job professionally. I do try to give back to our judges and ensure that they're taken care of in terms of like their hotel rooms and their meals and their time. They're giving me their time. I want to make sure they're taken care of and accommodated for, and ensure that they want to come back in the future, which they always do. I've had times when I couldn't fit the demand on a very big judging panel, and I had 14 seats, and they're all full. And I still had people being like, "Why am I not there?" I can only fit so many there, so there will be a battle for the top judges and mentalities that are behind that judging table for each of the shows. We have plenty to choose from, and we're going to ensure that they're the people that want it the most.
Yeah, and also too, the key is, which I know, it's more through your vision. Okay,
Correct.
it's up to a new regime, it's up to new blood now, with the guidance and help of the experienced people to help push, I think, the sport in a better direction. When an old regime holds on and they're not open to new ideas, or some of the approaches or some of the ideas and outlooks are outdated, then what starts to happen? The shows, the promoters will start to take a hit. I just feel like moving forward, this is a much healthier uh, approach for not only you, but for whatever organization you're associated with, and your shows as well.
Yes, absolutely. And the goal is to grow. The goal is to get a hold of the coaches, gyms, the naturals in the area, just like we did in day one and said, hey, you're a great drug-free athlete. Here's a home for you, amongst other people on a level playing field. And we want to make sure the drug testing is up to snuff. We're going to polygraph and UA every athlete that, needs the UA after class wins and pro wins. But also, I'm really big on the professional athletes, making sure that they're prioritized, that they're taken to a judges meeting like first, where we can really prioritize them first on stage, that we can ensure that they are taken care of, they have plenty of time, that they get their cash payouts on time. All those things are super important to me as a professional myself, that these are why the shows exist, are these professional natural athletes who need more limelight and more representation, from photography on the website to the posters to making sure that you are broadcasting them on social media, because a lot of these athletes that we've had have been world champions or national champions, and they've taken care of business. But sometimes they feel like another organization or federation is giving them more limelight or more pizzazz off of the endeavor than we are. And I'm not okay with that anymore. I want to make sure that they are number one in our book. We only exist because of them, and we don't scorn them if they choose to go elsewhere. We support them no matter what. And if they want to support us back, awesome. That's why we will grow.
Yeah, and that's what the next point I really wanted to get to. Like, we know that Aaron Orton is free now. Okay, free Aaron has Operation Free Aaron has been successful, but we are now making sure that that freedom spills over to the athlete. So I would like for you, in your words, to address how some of these overly restrictive systems can really stifle an athlete's career, their opportunities, their excitement, their love for the sport.
Well, I'll start off with attrition. And in business, when you have a lot of attrition, you can't really grow until you stop that loss. So if I have a boat that's filling with water, I'm not going to keep scooping it and throwing the water out. I'm going to plug the holes. So to plug the holes, we need to ensure that these athletes are listened to. That if they are deciding, hey, I found another home, or I'm going to stop, or I felt like that show wasn't good for me, we want to listen to them, take that suggestion box, if you will, and start applying that information immediately. And I've done that with a number of athletes where I've said, hey, I'm going to ensure that your next year is going to be somewhere where we get a VIP ticket for free to come back. I'm going to pass your registration forward. I'm going to give you a +1, or give your coach a free backstage pass. We want to make sure these people understand that we only exist because of them. And when they are done competing at our events, regardless of where they want to go forward, we support them as well, and we shout them out. That includes my own athletes as a coach and a trainer, that I don't want to feel like my mouth is blunted because I'm not allowed to go to this show or this event or support this athlete openly, when they really need their coach. They're paying for their coach. They're loving on their coach. We should be able to love them back without restraint. And that's one thing looking forward to 2025 and how many athletes we have getting ready for events, that I will be able to attend every single organization, every event, take what I like, put it in my back pocket, support my athletes openly and freely, and not have to worry anymore about what's being said or shown. That was never fair as someone who runs a business and someone who wants to broadcast natural bodybuilding in its entirety. Having the ANBF on my back, allowing any pro from any organization to experience that is going to be huge. That way they don't feel like, wow, I have to be part of this. I can do what I want and they're going to love on me regardless. Will grow the federation astronomically.
All right. Now, everything is fun and games until it's time to work. Okay, we
Yes,
both know that, and we're both workers. So, to put you on the spot here, you came over as a promoter, but indirectly, you are going to become that beacon over on the West Coast. A lot of people I feel are going to look to you. You are establishing a footprint over there. All right.
absolutely. Yes,
So, is that responsibility something you're up for? Obviously, you'll always have my support. You'll always
yes.
have Ken's support. And as we grow, you'll have more and more people's support. But this is just as I stepped into a role that's new to me and I'm learning and dealing with those new pressures and trying to get things going, you also inadvertently are in a different role. I felt like with your previous organization, it was like you were kind of contained. It was like the talent is being suppressed. When the
Yes.
talent comes out, which is great, there come new responsibilities. So how do you plan to handle and manage that? And are you up to the task?
Well, I feel like I've already been doing this, but a little bit of my capabilities have been uh, not utilized. So I'm a big fan of trying to go outside the box, get a
Hmm.
hold of gyms. One thing I've always done with our show promotion is I'll send out hundreds of posters to facilities all over the West Coast because, hey, you know what? If I get one athlete out of 60 of these posters, hey, not only does it pay itself off, but we got another athlete on stage. I'm willing to multiply that by 5 or 10 times this year to ensure everybody knows what's going on and that they will be supported as a drug-free athlete from our organization and moving forward no matter what, and give them a platform to show that off. So I'm not, concerned that it's more than I can chew. I feel like I've been doing this long enough to realize that I'm going to take a step forward no matter what, and I don't like it when things are staying still. So as a
Hmm.
business owner, you're either growing or you're dying. I want to grow, and I wasn't able to grow in the last few years. I was only able to reduce a little bit because, hey, you know what? You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't attend this. The best way possible for me to see natural bodybuilding grow is to put it in front of people's eyeballs. And that means I don't care if you're at a non-tested stage. If I have a tested or a drug-free athlete up against non-tested athletes and they're doing well, that's a form of advertising for us, not only for our gym, but for natural bodybuilding as a whole. I want to ensure people see what's possible drug free because if I have one person in the audience that says, hey, you can look like that without enhancement, maybe I shouldn't go that route, is another potential athlete for us moving forward to ensure that we do build natural bodybuilding and drug free athletes for the years to come.
Yeah, I've always said the same thing. It's like obviously you want athletes to support your shows and your side and your brand, but sometimes things don't always like line up. Like it's of all the great people you have over there, it may not line up that someone incredible like Maddie would come to my show.
Yes,
I'm still going to support her. And if she does your show and she represents the ANBF and then she goes somewhere else, or not just Maddie, anyone, it just Maddie just
anybody.
comes to mind, obviously.
Yes,
Um, if they go anywhere else and they do well, that looks good.
it
That
looks
looks
good.
good. That looks good.
Correct.
When you start restricting and you start to squeeze people too much, when you squeeze too hard, that's when people slip out.
Correct.
That's when people slip out. And I'm not for that. I've never been for that. I don't like being restricted. I've been in similar situations where I've had, you know, world champion athletes where it's like you won, you won, you won. And now it's like, all right, now as a coach, what am I going to say? Stay here until you lose or keep winning and everyone hates it? when that person may say want to go somewhere else and try
Right.
something different. It's like
And we
if
should
I
support
start becoming restrictive as the coach, now I'm losing income and now I'm going against my own principles now. Meanwhile, I'm hearing this and this about this athlete going to these other places. It's like, listen, I'm not I'm not restrictive. If someone comes to me with a real bad idea for a show or plan of shows, if you want to do it, I'll still support you. I'll provide you with some information where it's like, I don't know if this show lines up for you time wise. I don't know if this show is worth it for you. I don't see a positive for doing this show. But if you really want to do it, that's fine. Never been restrictive. But the idea that to tell people you got to stay here and stay here only, even when they've won at that level, they naturally are going to want to try something else. So you could either restrict them and then create a like an animosity or a bad relationship and view them as like a traitor, or you can still have that open relationship and hopefully they come to your show and they pay for a ticket, or maybe they bring their own friends and whatever. It's just, I don't feel like having those bad negative relationships to people and competitors and coaches or even promoters who go to other shows. I have to go to other shows. I'll be
Yep.
at OCB shows. I'm not
Yep.
going to be coaching athletes at the capacity that I like to at my two events. That's a major conflict. But plus, I wouldn't be able to. It's too much
Right.
other stuff to run. Other people will be dealing with the show, and they'll with my team, and they'll definitely be taken care of. That's a given. But I have to go to other shows. I have to go to OCB shows and shows that I support and other promoters that I support because I'm a coach too, and my athletes need to go someplace. I'm not just gonna be like ANBF all or nothing. It's like, no. And I'm the vice president now and
Yes.
a promoter. I'm not gonna say you have to do this show and that's it. If it
I
doesn't
love that.
work out, it doesn't work out. It's
That's exactly why I'm here and with the ANBF right now. Seeing Kent Beerley as president of the federation this year,
that guy's
go
crazy.
and do at his age to go
Yep,
and do
crazy.
the OCB Orton Cup and Worlds and to do Mr. America. And I go, wait a minute here, you're the president of the ANBF. And you're going to go compete at the highest level at all the other natural bodybuilding organizations head shows, and you are representing a way of saying, hey, do as I do, not as I say, is the type of mentality I have, is that I'm going to be in the same boat. I'm still a competitive athlete and I still will be getting on stage myself in the years to come. But to say, hey, you're not allowed to do that. You can only do A, B, C, or D shows, and it's not going to be financially reasonable. It's not going to be logistically reasonable because it's not in close proximity to you. But that's all you get was not a restriction I can continue to abide by because I'm here to also play ball. I want to make sure that my athletes who are getting on stage at these, I'm there to support them backstage, getting on stage with them, and I'm living it with those athletes. And that's how I've always coached. I've always led by example, and I want to ensure I can continue doing that freely and openly with the organization. And I love the fact that our president of our federation just did that at an age in which I admire so much that you'll be able to go through an entirety of a lifespan, still looking absolutely incredible, drug free, and competing amongst the very best. I'm all in.
I agree. I agree. Um, I mean, I think that pretty much covers it and nails it. I mean, if you want to add anything else, you can. But I feel
We are
real.
official now on our upcoming show. The Washington State Natural will be September 13th in Vancouver, Washington. We have a new website. It's freedomshows.com. It's going to have all the goodies. Everything you need on there is now linked to the anbfnatural.com website as well, along with our updated criteria and information. If you have any questions, you can shoot me a message. But the goal here is to do the largest show we've ever done in history. The Washington State National's been around since 2005. This is our 20th anniversary. This is Kevin and Linda's baby that they started, and I want to ensure that it lives up to the hype of the best shows they've ever done as well. We'll be bringing in more sponsors than ever, more athletes than ever. And if you guys want a part, really easy to get through Portland International and into this show. Going to have the same venue and hotel, same one drop spot. We've been listening to the athletes. This is what they want. They want a September show, a spot where they have a hotel venue, great lighting, great media coverage. We're going to take care of it here this year.
Kevin and Linda going?
They are going. Yeah, officially,
Nice.
Kevin and Linda will be there. And if you guys haven't seen them in a while, well, they started it all, and they're going to fly all the way out to make sure that they are participating in this event this year as well. So it's going to be big, and we're going to bring everybody we possibly can to this event.
All right. Party time. Okay.
Party time.
All right, Aaron. It's been real as always. We will talk.
All right.